Cupola, welcome to my YouTube channel. How very dare you to think that because Real Madrid have injuries that they will not slap Manchester City at the Bernabeu? Too many of you guys underestimated Los Blancos, Los Merengues. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Champions League Madrid is not the same. No Kylian Mbappe, no Rodrigo, no Jude Bellingham. Still turned up. Vinicius Jr. first half turned up. But before we get into any of that, let's talk about Federico Valverde with the best midfielder Champions League performance of all time. It had everything: work rate, dedication, technique, athleticism. I mean, capitano, the captain, leadership, speed. The first goal, I mean, listen, the first touch is chef's kiss. Nico O'Reilly out the game. Boom. Inside. Ran. Goalkeeper's coming out. Boom. Tap around him. No problem. Finish. The second goal. The reason why I love the second goal is because of the timing of the run. Nico O'Reilly looks to his right. Where are you looking? Valverde's running inside. Again. Sublime. First touch. Boom. Left foot. Hit across the keeper. And you know those strikes where you hit it too clean? Goalkeeper saves it. Why? Because the ball's going straight. But when you hit it across the goalkeeper, the ball's always going away from the goalkeeper. Clean finish, 2-0. Let's talk about the third goal. Oh, my days. Listen, Brahim Diaz, wonderful assist. But Fede Valverde, I mean, the touch around Gay. Mark Gay, we'll get on to you soon. The touch. Oh, yeah. Zidane-esque. Wow! And then boom, finish, Hattrick. Game over. Now, listen, apart from that, Federico Valverde, like I said, he's a hybrid. He's an absolute hybrid. Where did he play? Like right midfield? What a absolute performance. And the way he backed Trent. He said, Trent, I'm your boy. I'ma back you. That's what you call back your boy. So in the end, apart from the first, early minutes, Doku couldn't get the better of Trent because Valverde was there covering him. He was absolutely everywhere. Oh my. He is literally a manager's dream of a player. What a midfielder. One of the best. And he doesn't get enough credit because he doesn't run into the limelight. But Fede, we see you. We definitely see you. Enough about him. I want to talk about my boys. The tactics today, spot on. But I have to say, before I get on to Vinicius Jr.'s penalty miss, yes, guys, wonderful. Again, Arda Güler, what a ball. Vinicius Jr. dribbling. He played his role so well. I spoke about it tactically. We're going to look at it again, in another video about how he fared in that position. Almost like a lone striker because Gonzalo didn't play. But it happens. Will it be crucial? It just might. I think Real Madrid needed that fourth goal to end the tie. However, a big shout out here to Thiago Pitash. I mean, I'm not going to say he had an amazing game, but I must say the courage. Yes, he almost lost the ball for the goal, got taken off, but the work rate. In the first 20 minutes, he was caught out of position, etc., but he did not stop. And that's what we like. When we see players coming from Real Madrid Castilla, we like to see players with courage. We like to see players that are ready to step up. And everybody starts somewhere. I give it to him. Tchouaméni, he was decent today. Good when he needed to be. Yes, Arda Güler again, he frustrates me. I'm not going to lie to you. The reason why I say Arda frustrates me, a lot of the time, he doesn't always look for forward passes. When he does, it's great. But most of the time, it's just recycle. Everything is recycling nowadays in football. And it's getting annoying. The amount of times I've seen Man City with the high line that I spoke about before the game. Play the ball in behind to Vinny. He's running with Diaz. No, let's recycle the ball. And I feel like Arda Güler has regressed. And I feel like the best of him is when Kylian Mbappe is playing. I think with Brahim Diaz, Arda Güler, Valverde, and Pitash, they definitely pressed. They pressed really well. The work rate from Madrid, they just said, listen, let's turn up today. Vinicius Jr. as well. Everybody was working hard for each other. Trent, a liability. Lost the ball a couple of times and 1v1. I would say he was the weak link. You know, Dean Huijsen today was solid, and so was Rudiger, who didn't let Haaland do anything. By the way, Erling Haaland will get on to you. Ferland Mendy, yeah, you know what happens. Like I told you before the game, defensively, you're not going anywhere. He's an ox. You're not going anywhere. I'm sad that he came off at halftime, but I think, again, Ferland Mendy defensively is an absolute rock. Garcia came on, he did well as well. Courtois, listen, the way we love Courtois in Madrid, yeah, you can't even chat to him. The saves he makes, that save he made from when O'Reilly tackled Pitosh, my goodness gracious. But Erling Haaland, my son, where were you? You know, and it's so easy for me to come out and say, oh, Erling Haaland disaster class, Erling Haaland stinker, Erling Haaland ghost class. But no, you need to look at the fine details. When Rodri plays, Erling Haaland is so limited because Rodri is a key master recycler. Now, Rodri is a Ballon d'Or player. Who looked like a Ballon d'Or player between him and Valverde? I'll leave that for you guys to answer. But Rodri, one thing he does, he over-recycles sometimes. And with City not having as many potent attackers, like today, I just saw Jeremy Doku. But without that, it's very difficult for Erling Haaland to get any service. Semenyo wants to dribble. Doku wants to dribble. Reinders likes to find, you know, those little spaces, but even he is more of a shooter than a crosser. He's not really a provider. Shirky, brilliant player, but loves many touches on the ball. So in the end, you have Erling Haaland struggling, not getting enough supply. And today, he was hooked near the end, but he had nothing. And when you play like that, and you're playing against Rudiger, listen, you hardly have anything. There was an opportunity for Haaland to score, and Rudiger's had an amazing clearance. But Man City, again, average performance. Gay, oh my goodness. That's the worst I've seen Gay play. He was on absolute ropes. This is what we're saying. You're playing at Crystal Palace. You come to Man City. Wake up. Smell the coffee. This is the Champions League, my brother. This is the Champions League. This is where you're going to start playing players. You're going to play ballers, huh? Today, I seen him sat down a couple of times. I didn't want to say anything. I said, yo, the goal for Valverde. Valverde got to the ball, a little tap. Gabe's putting his hands out like, oh, you put your hands out like this. The guy scored a goal. You got done. Listen, that's the level. And today, he showed a lot of limitation. I think he's a brilliant defender, don't get me wrong, but he was exposed today. And we have to say it. We have to come out and say that he was exposed today. As a player, as a defender, Diaz was as well. And they're very lucky there's no Rodrigo, no Bellingham, and no Mbappe, because I think it would have just been more disastrous. Overall, we're looking into the second leg, see what Real Madrid will do. They'll have to hang in there, but they just need to go there and nick a goal. I think Real Madrid can do that. Will Bellingham be back for the second leg? Will Kylian Mbappe be back for the second leg? Let's wait and see. I think mentally it's going to be a tough one because Madrid normally second leg, they come back to the Bernabeu when they play City. This is one of the few times where they have to go there. And I believe one of the last times they did that, you know, City ended up winning. I only remember Real Madrid wearing a pink kit and that happening. Or maybe you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember City winning 4-0. But let's wait and see what happens in the second leg. Let's turn to the next game. Oh, my days. Let's talk about it. PSG. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. PSG absolutely slap. Slap Chelsea. They say Chelsea. Huh? You come to the Champions League, we slap yourself out of it. Chelsea are out, guys. I don't even want to talk too much. Chelsea are out. That's it. Don't come back to this video. If you see Chelsea go, Chelsea are out. PSG said, listen, play. Come here. You want to play Bobo. Because listen, in the first half, Chelsea had PSG on ropes. They had PSG on ropes. I'm not lying. I was like, yeah, I saw Kopama. I said, this guy that they said was injured, he was playing. I saw Enzo, who scored the goal as well, the second goal. I said, okay, Joao Pedro. I say, Pedro Neto. By the way, people that, you know, criticize Pedro Neto today, it was key for Chelsea. His pace in behind. Give him Marquinhos, the runners. The runners, run. Huh? I said, wow. Chelsea tactically, And the way they kept so many players up as well in the transition, I said, Chelsea got PSG's number here. Because I was thinking, I've not really seen this. Gusto obviously scored the first goal. And I was like, okay, Club World Cup, I think this team knows how to play them. That guy said on the middle, combative. But, and it's a big but. Barcola, the first goal, wow. Touch, bang, bar in. By the way, Barcola, we know when he's 1v1, he's clueless. But when he has seconds to think about what he has to do, instinctive finishing, boom, goal. Ousmane Dembele showing why he's the Ballon d'Or winner and not Lamine Yamal. Let's go 1v1. Let's do it in a big game. Lamine Yamal, nowhere to be seen, as we've seen recently. And then Ousmane Dembele, for fun, let's go 1v1. Cut inside, crochet, which means chop again, cut outside, finish. And Ousmane Dembele is not even 100% fit. They even took him off to prove to you guys. But when it comes to these minutes, these stages, these hours, the man is the man of the hour. He's alive. That's what I'm talking about. That game was great anyway. Listen, we spoke about it, 2-2, and then Luis Enrique said, hey, Kvaratskhelia, where are you? Enter the pitch, man. These guys, they think that they're on our level. Let's shut them. Mistake from the goalkeeper completely changed the game. I don't know why these, I'm seeing new goalkeepers. Anyway, I think it was Jorgensen. Mistake, boom. What a touch, first of all, Vitinha. Chip over the goalkeeper. Technique. Highest quality midfielder. Again, Vitinha turning up in big games. They want to compare Vitinha to Pedri. And I keep on telling them it's not the same thing. Barca fans, hear me very well. It's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because in these moments, Vitinha's not just doing what Pedri does. He's also influencing the game high up the field, scoring, assisting, and time again in the knockout stages, Vitinha for PSG says, I'm here, rely on me. If these strikers are not going to score, I'm going to score. And I cannot express how difficult it is for a midfielder to control the ball that quickly. By the way, the control was to tee the ball up and just to lightly, just this soft little tap, boom, and the ball's just lobbing over the goal. It's the highest form of technical ability. What Vitinha displayed there. So he deserves his flowers. And on top of that, we go back to Kvaratskhelia. He said, okay, I see you. I see what Ousmane did. I see what Desiree Doué did. I see what Barcola did. Just hold my drink. Wow! That is what we want to see wingers do in the game. Dribble. Touch inside. Slap. I mean, the thunder in that strike. The goalkeeper was still in the air. The ball was already in the net. The ball had landed long time. Rockets. And when he came on the pitch, the game completely changed on his head. Yes, they were ahead. And then on top of that, just the way he dribbles. 2-3 players committing them. He had Caicedo slipping and sliding all over the place like a penguin on ice. Penguin. I said, yeah. And then, obviously, he scored the final goal at the end. And PSG came into their own. 5-2, beat Chelsea. Kvaratskhelia is one of those type of wingers, like in the ilk of Lamine Yamal, Olise. You know, those players that you want to watch play football. Mwah. Je ne sais quoi. He's got something else. I dare you to tackle me. When he looks at you in the eye, he says, I dare you, tackle me. I love that. I love that. That's the kind of football we want to see at PSG, Bayern Munich, these teams. As they go further on in the Champions League stage, you see them warming up. You know, Chelsea are not ready for these. They go back and sit down. You're not ready for this. Go home. Huh? We have Bodo Glimt, who I told you, be careful. I didn't watch that game, so I don't want to really comment. But they beat Sporting Lisbon 3-0. They've slapped City. They've slapped Inter Milan. Don't take them lightly if you play them. Do not take them lightly. I repeat, do not take them lightly. But let's talk about Arsenal, because I saw a lot of that second half atrocious. Same old Arsenal, always cheating. Now, one thing I love, before we get on the penalty, one thing I loved about the European games I watched in the last 2 days, referees are not having none of that stupid stand in front of the block goalkeeper. Kai Havertz got a yellow card today. We saw it. And we saw the game against Chelsea. We saw Victor Gyökeres probably should have been offside in that game in the Premier League. There's too much shenanigans happening around the goalkeeper in the Premier League. Arsenal in Europe, you're not allowed to do it. Because yesterday when I saw the game as well, last night, Galatasaray, Liverpool, the referees not having it. Newcastle, Barcelona, not having it. Goalkeepers are protected. Today, Man City against Real Madrid, not having it. So Arsenal struggle with that. Now, they finished top of the league, and this is why I told you in the Champions League, it doesn't matter if you finish top. Because they drew with Leverkusen. They cheated their way to a draw because Madueke dived, that simulation, VAR, I don't understand. If it's not Barcelona, which they deserved the penalty yesterday, by the way, it's Arsenal. You have looked at a screen where Madueke has clearly dived and you said it's a penalty. How on earth anybody that watches football would have said that is cheating? The highest form. Now I know why John Obi Mikel said what he said. Because in reality, we're seeing it with our eyes. They should have lost that game 1-0. Am I saying Leverkusen were 10 times better? No. They scored and then that was it. European football, it can happen. But what I am saying is, Arsenal don't really break down teams. That's the truth. No Arsenal fan can tell me they enjoy watching their team play football. And if they had lost today, you would have seen the fan base. Now they're like, oh yeah, we can go through now. That's 1-1. You're playing Leverkusen. This should be easy. You should be doing 5-6-1. But the performance, Saka hooked off at 59 minutes. Saka hooked. What are we seeing? I told you it's not world class, but I didn't expect this downfall this soon. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm looking on the pitch. I'm seeing Eze coming so deep. I'm seeing Zubimendi, who should have been sent off as well. Zubimendi should be off the pitch. That tackle should be off. Anyway, listen. You can't set piece your way to a Champions League. That's one thing you can't do. So anything they're trying to do that they try and do in the Champions League, it's gonna be exposed. At the end of the day, it will be exposed in this round of the Champions League. But they drew 1-1. They got away with one. So I'll give it to them. But apart from that, Los Blancos, 3-0 against Man City. Nobody expected it. Expect the unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you soon.